Welcome to Hungry Dads, your guided tour through the delicate and often overwhelming balancing act between food indulgences and social acceptance. And now, as always, here are your hosts, Rod Budget and Hugh Gallen.
Welcome to episode 16 of Hungry Dads. I'm Rod Budget.
I'm Hugh Gallen.
And Hugh, I don't know if you'll remember, but in episode 7, I revealed myself as a bit of a, I think, quote-unquote, menu nerd. I have a passion for examining menus, their oddities, the weird things on them, and tonight I want to focus on menu prices. Hugh, I have to admit that despite being a menu enthusiast, I've never really paid very close attention to prices, especially at fast food restaurants. It's certainly not because I'm just, uber wealthy and have no need to look at prices. Even when I was a struggling college student, I didn't really pay that much attention to the prices of individual items. And I think it's because, when I go to a particular fast food restaurant, I kind of know how much I'm going to be spending regardless of what I order. I have a preset amount of it's going to cost me $6 to $10. But being the menu nerd that I am, I recently started delving deeper into the actual pricing on various menus, which got me to thinking about another non-food passion of mine. Obviously food is a passion of Rod Budget, but I don't think I've really delved into some of my other interests or passions in the podcast to this point. So this pricing research leads me to the perfect opportunity to blend one of my other true passions into game show pricing format. You may have guessed it already, but Hugh Gallen, come on down. You are the
Nice.
next contestant on The Price is Right. Congratulations, Hugh. Are you excited to be in Contestants Row?
I am excited. I am getting up from my seat. I'm running down the aisle. I'm even okay that it's not Bob Barker or Drew Carey.
Thank you. So first of all, I'm going to assume that 99% of our listeners are familiar with Price is Right. It's been on the air continuously since 1972, for crying out loud. But here's the one-sentence description. Contestants win prizes based on playing pricing games, and the more they know about prices of various items, the better their chances of winning. So tonight, Hugh, I have 3 pricing games that are inspired by The Price is Right. Let me say a few words about my overall pricing methodology before we get started. The prices being used are either from the websites of the dining establishment or from our good friends over at fastfoodmenuprices.com, which is an awesome resource if you just want to know the price of any fast food item. It's all listed there. It's great. These are non-sale items, so standard menu prices. And I acknowledge that there can be slight price variations from state to state, especially prices are higher in New York City, Alaska, and Hawaii. These are from the contiguous United States. So with the housekeeping out of the way, let's jump into our first pricing game.
Before we start, I just want to say, we've done a few of these games before, and I think I have been, and rightfully so, somewhat cocky walking in. I know my brands. I know my foods. I don't know. I don't have the same confidence about this pricing. I'm very, very excited and on edge about how this is going to go. So bring it on.
That's kind of my overall thesis, I think, is that nobody really knows these fast food prices. So I'm interested to see if an expert like yourself can do better than what I think the average consumer could do.
I'm up to the challenge.
Let's jump into our first pricing game, and it's simply called Name the Higher Price. Hugh, I'm going to name 2 items. You tell us which one you think has the higher price. There are 7 questions, and if you get 4 correct, you are a winner. But just to be clear, there are no actual prizes other than the great podcasting glory that you will be bathed in.
That's all I've ever wanted.
Let's go. Pricing game number 1. Name the higher price. Big Mac value meal regular size. Whopper value meal regular size.
Whopper value meal.
That is correct. The Big Mac is $5.69 and the Whopper is $6.19.
Okay.
Next. McDonald's hamburger in 1961 or a McDonald's chocolate chip cookie in 2014.
Chocolate chip cookie.
That is correct again. The hamburger in 1961 was 20 cents. Chocolate chip cookie in 2014 is 33 cents.
Wow.
Not as big of a difference as I would have thought, but you got it right. Next up, a Pizza Hut medium cheese pizza or a Subway foot-long big and hot pastrami melt.
That pastrami's a special, so don't try to think of it as a $5. I'm gonna go with the Subway.
That's right again. I tried to outsmart you, but you You outsmarted me. Most people would think a pizza is more. The medium Pizza Hut cheese pizza is $8.49. The Subway footlong Big Hot Pastrami Melt is $8.50.
Yeah, I actually have specific memory of that pastrami melt because I wanted one, but the price drove me away.
That's why you're a professional, and that's why you're 3 for 3. Number 4, a KFC 16-piece bucket of mixed chicken, or a pack of 24 Duracell AA alkaline batteries on Amazon.com.
Oh, okay. I'm going for the chicken. Amazon usually gives you a good deal on batteries.
That is correct again. The 16-piece bucket of chicken is $24.99. The batteries are $15.67. This man's a professional. He is a winner already, but we're going to see if he can stay perfect. Number 5. Pressure's on. A Cinnabon Classic Cinnamon Roll, or a double bacon cheese slider from White Castle.
Ooh, unfamiliar with both. A Cinnabon I've always known to be overpriced at the airport, so I'm going with the Cinnabon.
That is correct. The Cinnabon is $3.76, and the double bacon cheese slider is $2.40. Number 6. We had to have this one. The Hardee's half-pound, mile-high bacon thick burger, and the chicken Santa Fe panini from Starbucks.
Ooh.
Hardee's mile-high bacon thick burger, or the chicken Santa Fe panini from Starbucks.
Hardee's is more expensive.
I tried to trick you, and I could not. I thought you would think Starbucks was going to be way overpriced. Common sense. The Hardee's thick burger is $6.99. The Starbucks panini is $5.65.
I'm not going to lie to you. I'm just dizzy right now. The Hardee's was a pure Hail Mary guess. I wish I could take credit for that.
6 for 6, folks. 6 for 6. This is where it all comes down. This is like a 300 in bowling, a perfect game in baseball. 7 for 7 in which is the higher price. Here we go. A whole cinnamon crumb coffee cake from Panera Bread, or 2 dozen assorted donuts from Dunkin' Donuts.
Oh, golly. Dunkin' Donuts. 2 dozen donuts.
He did it! He did it!
I'm not saying this to be cocky, but only to be proud. I don't think those were easy.
Those were not easy.
You're questioning.
I broke it down. I gave you 2 what I considered softballs, 3 that I considered middle of the road, and 2 that I thought were pretty hard. The last one I thought was the hardest. The whole cinnamon crumb coffee cake from Panera is $14.99. 2 dozen assorted donuts from Dunkin' Donuts, $17.98. Pricing game number 2 is called Start High and Go Low. I'm going to name 4 food items, and you put them in order from highest price to lowest price. Do you have your pen and paper ready?
I'm ready.
Here we go. A Dairy Queen small sundae. A Taco Bell double-decker taco supreme. Chick-fil-A 12-piece grilled nuggets. Arby's classic roast beef sandwich.
Okay. I've got the highest price item as the chicken nuggets, the next highest as the Taco Bell taco. I've got the third highest as the Arby's roast beef, and the cheapest being the Dairy Queen small sundae.
He couldn't be the hero forever. You were correct that the Chick-fil-A nuggets were the most expensive at $5.75. The second most expensive is actually the roast beef sandwich at $3.29, followed by the small sundae at $2.59, and the cheapest is actually the double-decker taco supreme at $2.29.
Does make sense. I will say I got misled by the Arby's. On one hand, it's a sandwich, so I thought it should have a premium price. On the other hand, it's Arby's roast beef, which does not have a reputation for highest quality, so I was kind of taking it as a bargain basement product.
That brings us to pricing game number 3. I think he was still doing quite well despite not getting Start High and Go Low. Pricing game number 3 is called Danger Price, and this is an actual pricing game on The Price is Right that we're able to modify into podcast format, one of the few that doesn't really need any props. Danger Price, I'm going to give you a price, Hugh, and then I'm going to name 4 items, and one of the items will match the danger price. You want to give me the other 3 items without giving me the item that is the danger price. Are you ready?
Is there going to be a buzzer that goes off if I give you the wrong food choice?
There will likely be a very loud horn instead of a buzzer.
That's got me on edge. Okay, let's do this.
The danger price is $6.19. So again, I will read 4 items. You want to give me the 3 that do not cost $6.19. A Little Caesars 10-piece pepperoni cheese bread. Wendy's barbecue ranch chicken salad. Five Guys bacon cheese hot dog. Sonic large chili cheese tater tots. So, name the one that you are the most confident does not cost $6.19.
I'm going to say that tater tots do not cost $6.19.
That is correct. The tater tots are $3.39. You have 3 items remaining. Give me another item that you do not think costs $6.19.
The Wendy's barbecue salad does not cost $6.19. Oh, I stepped right into that one. Well, I think of a pizza and I say the price point on pizza is just never $6.19, and I should have gone with that in my next choice. But then I thought, Little Caesars sometimes really will, make a deal. I was remembering having gone to Five Guys recently, and I thought the price of a burger. Well, if a burger was around that, and I thought they might go the same for a hot dog. I stepped right into the salad thinking a salad shouldn't cost that much.
Yeah, I think this was probably the highest degree of difficulty of any of the pricing games. The Little Caesars 10-piece pepperoni cheese bread was $4.89, so close to $6.19. The Five Guys bacon cheese dog was $5.79, so I wasn't very nice to you on this one.
All right, I came in strong. You made things tougher as we went along, and that's the way the game is played.
Hungry Dance.
Rod, let's talk about pizza. Specifically, pizza problems and pizza solutions.
Give me pizza! P-I-C-C-A.
I've got some pizza-related items I want to talk about, and I'm going to take a stance of advocacy, which I don't usually do. I usually try to play it very even, not take sides, but tonight I have 3 items related to pizza that I think need to be spoken about in a way that's going to make change. The first pizza problem that I want to solve relates to different pizza styles. I think we all know about the feud between New York pizza and Chicago pizza. Die-hard Chicagoans would say that New York pizza is thin and floppy and feeble and insubstantial, much like famed New Yorker Woody Allen. And New Yorkers might say that Chicago's deep dish pizza is just too much. It's a burden, it's hard to handle, and not worth all the effort. It's just overbearing. Maybe like Mike Ditka. But this Chicago versus New York quasi-feud isn't the pizza problem I want to address tonight. I'm not even convinced there is any real feud. While there are some passionate fans out there, not too many people are getting excited over these types of pizzas' exclusive superiority over one or the other. And I think most people, even if they have a preference, can enjoy either. No, the problem I have is something else. You see, there's a third style of pizza, a type of pizza without a home, without a city to embrace it. I'm talking about a super thin, crispy style pizza. I think this thin, crispy, crunchy pizza is due for a breakout and needs a city to take it on for itself. It's up for grabs. I'm putting out the call. Cities of America, put yourself on the map along with New York and Chicago. You might be thinking, but Hugh, what about California-style pizza? Nope, it's not crispy. It's thin, but it's not crispy. California pizza is defined by its unorthodox and interesting toppings, not its dough, not its crust. And California is a state, not a city. I'm talking about this crispy, crunchy, cracker-like pizza that has yet to be claimed. Not just crispy on the edges, but crispy even at the bottom. Dubuque, Iowa, this is your chance. I know you have corn, but so does half the country. Sioux Falls, South Dakota, your neck of the woods could use some hype. Band together, perfect thin crust pizza, sell it on every street corner, put ads in those magazines you see on airplanes. Tell everyone about Sioux Falls-style pizza. But actually, I think there's another natural choice for the city that should embrace this pizza. My personal vote is Portland, Oregon. Portland really has gone about creating an identity and a culture for itself that could truly live up to New York or Chicago, but yet it's completely different and unique. Geographically, it works since it's already on the West Coast as compared to the Middle and the East Coast, which are covered. Even the idea of the crunchy liberal hippie prototype from Portland fits perfectly with a crunchy, crispy style pizza. Like New York's foppish Woody Allen or Chicago's overbearing Mike Ditka, Portland too has its own native daughter to connect with this pizza. Yes, thin, crispy pizza style is light and airy. It's completely unintimidating, yet not necessarily to everyone's taste. Just like Portland's own native, actress Zooey Deschanel. But there are way bigger pizza issues on our plates. A wonderful group of men on the internet named Axis of Awesome have brought up a major pizza issue that needs to be addressed. Let's just let them tell you about it.
There's an issue right in front of us that we refuse to see.
That's when you cut a pizza into 8 slices. It can't be shared by 3. There's no even way to split it when there's 3 of you.
2 people get 3 slices, but 1 is left with 2.
They're always cut into 8, and the division isn't fair.
But if you cut your pizza into 12 slices, there'll be enough to share.
So I don't know if you caught that amongst the musical genius that is Axis of Awesome, but basically, in their song, they're making a call that pizzas should be cut into 12 slices. Personally, I love this. Their reasoning is it's divisible in more ways for more groups of people. Initial thoughts, Rod. What do you think about this theory?
I touched on pizza cutting in my Angry Dad segment.
Episode 12.
And, mentioned that the slices are often uneven or poorly cut. And that kind of plays into this. So I think if we were all civil, if we had 3 people and 8 slices, there's always going to be 2 giant slices and then some other smaller slices. So you try to divide it up that way. But the 12 slice theory makes a lot of sense to me. It just cuts right through all of that. I think it's a great idea.
Yeah, the main issue I saw was what you mentioned in episode 12 was just your complete lack of faith in pizza slicers and their ability to do it in 8 even slices. Now, turning it into 12 even gets more mathematically complicated for the slicer. But I have to say, I'm going to continue to advocate here. We need to expect more from our pizza slicers. This should be a skilled position. This should be the kind of thing that our local pizza shop should be providing as a service to us, as slicing options. How many slices do you want it to be? How big are the slices? Whether you're serving children, maybe you want half of it to be in very small slices, 12 slices on one half and 4 slices on the other. This should be an option. Domino's Pizza could add it onto their app. I think this is the next revolution in pizza. But in case you're not convinced, I want to bring back our friends Axis of Awesome just for a little bit more information.
Now look, we're not just talking about us. We're also talking about those hungry groups of 6 who only get 1 1/3 of a slice in an 8-slice pizza.
With our 12-slice system, they'll get 2 slices each.
And now you're thinking, what if I'm part of a group of 8? Well, order at least 2 pizzas, you cheapskate.
So here they're breaking down even further the different ways where the 12-slice system works. And, the one thing I thought was, maybe with 3 people, at that point you're going to get 2 pizzas anyway. But as you said before, we've got college students where there might not be enough money for 2 pizzas. So you really do need to be able to survive on 1 pizza to be divisible between 2, 3, or 4 people without having to think too hard about it. I believe in this 12-slice system. I want to push it. I want our listeners to think very hard about it. And I would be remiss if I didn't share with you every piece of information I could. Here's more from Axis of Awesome, which, by the way, the song is called Do They Know It's Pizza?
And sure, we still have the problem of what to do with groups of 5 or 7, but 1 issue at a time. And cutting our pizzas into 12 is something we can change right now.
So yes, they're acknowledging there's problems with this, but it solves a lot. Hungry Dad's listeners, walk away inspired, walk away serious. Let's talk to our local pizza places. Let's see if we can get 12 slices. If they hear it enough, they're going to have to react. Band together. My next and last pizza problem to be solved, I just want to put an age-old question to rest. And that question is, why is New York pizza unique? Why can't it be replicated? Well, as many may have heard over time, that it's in the water. And my research has confirmed this theory has merit. I have science, not mere mysticism, not wives' tales. Rod, if I recall, Mr. Budget Sr., your father, was a waterman, right?
He was a waterman. He is retired from being a waterman. He knows his water.
Had you ever heard your old man talk about the value of water maybe New York water or any type of water when it comes to making pizza or bread. Did he ever give you his expert opinion on this water New York pizza theory?
I don't recall ever specifically talking about the New York water as it pertains to bagels or pizza dough. I know that he was impressed with the New York City water and always commented on how good it tasted. And in fact, Mrs. Budget was just in New York City a couple of days ago and came back raving about the water quality.
Well, they're absolutely right, and I appreciate that your father's expert opinion on New York water. New York City's water has a unique mineral content. The water comes from upstate. It's not from in the city. There's a giant pipeline that brings it down, and where the water comes from up north, there's a lot of aquifers, and the water picks up these minerals. And there's been some brave men and women out there doing real experiments on New York water insofar as it pertains to the breads, the doughs, the bagels that New York makes. And they've found that these minerals not only add flavor, but they slow the fermentation of the yeast and tightens the dough. It helps the protein and the flour bond together, and it gives New York dough a unique strength and elasticity. And so, for any doubters, science is currently proving this wives' tale. But wait, that's not the end of the story. In New York, pizza has another unique attribute that it can't be replicated just anywhere. Chef Mario Batali was quoted as saying that an oven captures the gestalt of beautifully cooked pizza and imparts that. Now, I had to look up what gestalt is. Gestalt is defined as an organized whole that is perceived as more than the sum of its parts. And what he meant by this statement, that an oven captures the gestalt of pizza, was that as an oven cooks, some of the ingredients vaporize and stick to the inside of the oven. And then as it heats again, these vaporized bits travel through the air and add more flavor. Over time, all the particles mix and create a unique flavor that can't be imitated or recreated. All this is a way of saying that what New York has that many places don't have are pizza ovens that have been operating for decades, maybe even 100 years. And these pizza ovens have a very real effect on the way pizza comes out. So, I'm here tonight on Hungry Dads to declare that I am officially ready to upgrade the It's the Water and It's the Oven myths of New York pizza to confirmed. Problem solved. I'd like to thank SeriousEats.com, their food lab, for their insight into water, minerals, and pizza dough. You may remember the food lab as my turducken inspiration and muse from episode 4. Their site is awesome. Check it out. And Joe Brown's article from Wired.com, Why is New York City's iconic pizza so tough to replicate, for their insight on Gestalt.
Yeah, I think those are two great points. You've got science and history, and I think we should make it a point sometime in the near future to have a New York City pizza cooked in an oven, cut into 12 slices.
My dream would come true.
Human pizza! P-I-C-C-A.
Hungry Dads. Christmas is just around the corner, and Hugh, you and I discussed the possibility of doing a Christmas special, spectacular episode, much like we did for Thanksgiving in episode 14 and Halloween in episode 10, but then we decided that a lot of Christmas dining is really just a carryover from Thanksgiving with things like turkey, ham, side dishes, pies. However, I will spend some time talking about one aspect of Christmas food that I think stands on its own, and that is sweets. Christmas has carved out a bit of a niche specifically for snack-type sweets. And as a kid, I would generally obtain these sweets, not only from, just having them be out and about around the house, but also in my Christmas stocking. There were always various sweets in my stocking, and they usually changed from year to year. And here's my main memory from those stocking sweets. For some reason, the items that I thought were going to taste gross usually tasted better than I expected, and the items that I thought would be delicious were usually kind of disappointing. So I was thinking about this recently, and I began getting a little philosophical and questioning the meaning of it all. Maybe I just overhyped what I thought was going to be good in my mind, and undervalued what I thought was, going to be bad. And maybe that's just the cause of all this. Maybe everything was just kind of average, but my outside expectations got in the way. So tonight I'm setting out to either prove or disprove my theory by conducting a live taste test of 2 potential stocking candies that I found at my local grocery store. Before I reveal the 2 candies, let me lay out some background and rules. I have never tried either of these specific items, and in fact, I'd never heard of them before I came across them at the store. They are both chocolate-based candies. In order to make a fair comparison, I felt they needed to be similar, but a little bit different. They have similar price points based on how much you get, so it's not like one's way more expensive or supposed to be a better quality. They're both fairly inexpensive. When I saw the first candy, I thought to myself, wow, that can't be high-quality chocolate. I bet it doesn't taste good. And when I saw the second candy, I thought to myself, that sounds pretty tasty. I will eat the candy that I don't think is good first, followed by the candy that I think will be good second. And this is simply due to the fact that candy number 2 has a stronger flavoring that could potentially alter my palate. Hugh, do you have any questions or comments before I reveal the 2 stocking stuffers?
Yeah, just a couple. So, like you alluded to, I think that there's a strong psychological element to one's expectations. You set low expectations, you tend to be pleasantly surprised. You set high expectations, you tend to be disappointed. And in the mind of a young Rod Budget, I think those things could run wild. That said, I think you've set up an interesting experiment here. You've gone with your first gut instinct. I trust you now as an adult professional to really be able to separate that more emotional, psychological element as much as humanly possible. I don't think one can completely separate it. That said, I trust your expertise, and I'm actually very anxious to hear what the items are.
So candy number 1, which is the one that I have very low expectations for, is called Double Crisp Coal, made by a brand called Palmer, which I'm not familiar with. The Double Crisp Coal is contained within a mesh red bag and is made to look like a bag of coal. The chocolates are wrapped in a black foil. I kind of thought it was pretty funny and cute at first, and then I kind of started thinking about the range of emotions that an unsuspecting kid's going to go through. The package is pretty convincing. It looks kind of real. So a kid at first is going to think that they're really getting a bag of coal and be like, haha, very funny, that sucks. Then they're going to be excited to find out that it's really a bag of chocolates. But then they're going to be disappointed again if the chocolates taste like garbage. So I'm going to rip into a piece of coal, and I should say the only way I know it's chocolate is by looking at the ingredients. It's what I would have guessed, but I wasn't sure what double crisp really means. I'm still not sure. So here I go. I'm going to rip into the mesh bagging and extract a piece of coal wrapped in foil. Looks like it's kind of got a strange hexagon shape to the top of it. I'm unwrapping it now. And it looks like milk chocolate. And it's like a Nestle Crunch kind of. There's small crispy treats within it. So here goes nothing. I'm biting into the coal. Wow.
And?
The coal is excellent.
Okay.
Wow. This exceeds all expectations. It's like a very high quality Nestle Crunch. Palmer brand. I'm not. Have you heard of Palmer?
I think I have, and I could be wrong on this, but I seem to be able to picture an Easter bunny with a Palmer.
That's right. You're right.
And what's interesting,
I think it's a traditional Easter brand.
And what's interesting is, based on that and my understanding that this is a gimmick treat, I did not have high expectations, and I can't say I don't want to judge Palmer, but I don't tend to believe that Easter chocolate bunnies are of high quality. So I had very low expectations for what you were walking into here, but I saw your reaction, and that was genuine.
Yeah, I mean, I started laughing because it was just so good, and I knew it was going to sound. I hope it doesn't sound fake, but it was like really high quality tasting chocolate, and the whole bag of cola was only like $1.50. So kudos to Palmer, and so far my theory I think is holding up. And let's move on to candy number 2, which is something that caught my eye as just looking tasty. It's a Russell Stover coconut wreath. I'm a big fan of coconut and chocolate, so it sounds very promising. I like Mounds, I like Almond Joy. This is just an individually wrapped, cookie-sized, circular wreath-shaped piece of chocolate mixed with coconut, or at least that's what the package indicates. So I'm going to dig in. We've got it's cookie-sized. It's more chocolate than I thought. I don't see any coconut. It's contained inside, I guess. So here we go. It's good. It's good too. I'm not going to say that it's not good. I think this validates the whole experiment, because just tasting these, blindfolded or not knowing the packaging or the cost, I think they're fairly similar. I think I like the coal a little better, but the coconut wreath is good as well. There's no actual coconut visible, it's just kind of, I think, mixed into the chocolate, but it's got a strong coconut flavoring, and it's good. I would say the chocolate quality is definitely better in the coal, which is interesting. But overall, they're both very tasty. I like the coal a little better, which is the one that I thought would be gross. I do like the wreath. I thought I would like it. It's not mind-blowing like the coal was, so I think this validates that expectations play a large role in these things. Hungry Dads! Visit our website at hungrydads.com. Follow us on Twitter at hungry_dads. This has been a Hungry Dads production.
There's going to be a lot of P's in this segment, so let me try to. I think you're supposed to pronounce them as B's. Pronounce them as B's, which sounds a little bit idiot. So let's talk about pizza.
I knew you weren't going to be able to pull that off. Who's pizza?
Pizza! P-I-C-C-A. Pizza! P-I-C-C-A.
Bob Barker reminding you to help control the pet population. Have your pets spayed or neutered. Goodbye.